Today I want to talk about 5 things that we as drummers tend to overlook in our practicing. Now, you may have never worked on any of these before, maybe you've worked on a few, or maybe you've worked on all of them at some point, but I guarantee no matter what level you're at, there's something in here that's either worth practicing for the first time or going back and practicing again. But before we get into that list, let's get the Camcos in here. Did that work? Number 1, hi-hat accents. So let's say you're playing an 8th note groove like this. You should be able to accent with your right hand the downbeat, the upbeats, or any combination in between. This can be surprisingly difficult, but makes a huge difference to the overall feel of the groove. You can also practice this on the ride using the bell as your accent. Number 2, left foot independence. A great teacher once told me that I should be able to take all of my vocabulary that I'm playing with my right hand, my left hand, and my right foot, and I should be able to play all of that underneath my left foot on the hi-hat, playing either quarter notes, 8th notes, upbeats, splash close, or close splash. Now, I wouldn't say I'm 100% there with all of my vocabulary and all of those options, but I'm fairly close, and I love that it always gives me something else to work on, and it can really add another dimension to your practice and whatever else it is that you're working on. Number 3, bass drum triples. This one is all about increasing our bass drum speed and consistency. Now, this is a subject that you've probably worked on in some capacity before, but how often have you ever worked on bass drum triples or playing 3 notes in a row? This can be surprisingly tricky, especially when trying to keep all 3 of those notes even and consistent. There are 4 great patterns for working on your triples, and they sound like this. Number 4, displaced snares. Our poor left hand spends most of its life dutifully holding it down on 2 and 4 for us. So let's give it a new reason to wake up in the morning and displace some of those snares and try some different positions for our backbeats. This can be a really good test to see if A, you have the coordination to play these alternate backbeats, and B, how difficult it is for your brain to accept them and hear them properly. Number 5, dynamic independence. If I asked you to play something louder or softer, that's probably not terribly difficult for you, but what if I asked you to just make the snare louder and keep everything else the same? This is surprisingly tricky if you haven't practiced it before. So give it a go, and in any regular groove, see if you can increase or decrease the volume of specific parts of the kit while keeping the other elements all the same. So bringing the snare up or down, hi-hat up or down, or just the kick up or down. Finally, before I move on to the next thing, let me just interject here to remind you to practice this stuff responsibly. Practice it one thing at a time. Focus. There's absolutely no need to combine these into some sort of like super mega exercise, okay? You can take any of these ideas and combine them. So let's see if I can take all 5 and turn them into one mega groove that kind of practices all of them at once. We'll throw some accents on the right hand on the ride. We'll switch on the left foot on the hi-hat. We'll get some triples going on the bass drum. We'll get a groove started that has a displaced backbeat, and then I'll try and emphasize the kick and snare and de-emphasize the cymbals. So there you go. I'll try and link some of the exercises I just demonstrated as Groovescribe links in the description below, but don't think of these as individual exercises that I'm prescribing for you. Try and just take these as ideas for you to incorporate into your own practice. So there you go. Hope that helps. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.